Okay, good morning, everyone. It's good to see everyone here. Thank you for coming. My name is Brenda Sensitz, and I'm doing the meditation this morning, and later I'll be doing the opening prayer. And the very first thing I want to remind you to do is to please silence your phones. And the reason I'm remembering to tell you that is because I'm getting text after text after text because my stepdaughter is sending pictures over from Spain where she's walking on the El Camino de Santiago trail. So I can't wait to see the pictures. I'm so excited, but please remember to silence your phone. And I want to welcome the people who are looking at us by video. You're most welcome and glad you're joining us. And I guess we can get ready for meditation now. I don't have a reading this morning, but I do have something to say, so that's something. But let's start with just taking a deep breath. Whew. Okay, so let's just settle into our chairs. I like to start with just massaging my face a little bit. And I was just reading this morning out of Science of Mind about the importance of touch. And so let's just, if you want to, you don't have to do this, just rub your forehead and give gratitude to your forehead. With all its wrinkles and creases, it's there. Just let it relax. And maybe move down to your temples and just massage your temples gently. Oh, that feels so good. And then move down to your cheeks. And your jawbone. Just relax your jawbone. And can you feel the energy from the touch? Do you feel the Spirit's energy moving through there? And down through your throat, just a gentle stroking of the throat. Maybe shrug your shoulders and let them drop. Shrug your shoulders and let them drop. And that's all by way of resting. This morning's meditation is where I want to rest this morning in my meditation. I just want to rest. And what I mean by that is I'm going to think about, just for a minute, the things that I've done this past week that showed love and compassion, kindness toward myself and whatever I've accomplished, toward my family, toward my friends, toward my community, toward this center. I'll just think about some of those things. And rest, knowing that I can appreciate what I've done, and that now I can rest knowing that what I've done is rippling through the universe, doing its great work. And I don't have to do anything else right now. I can just rest knowing that. Those of us who were at the Mystic Fair yesterday certainly can use a rest, knowing that we did good work. So let's just go into silence now and just rest and just be and just know that the energy of the universe is here with us now, resting with us, making us peaceful and joyful. And so with a slight smile on our faces, let's just rest. resting is so important for our own self-care. It's so important for us to appreciate ourselves and to rest in that appreciation. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to be, just rest. If your mind is wandering like mine is right now, I remind myself, I am resting. I am resting here with Spirit, with the energy of the universe. It is resting here with me, and I can rest here with it. And as we slowly and slowly and slowly come out of this restful period, we can wiggle our toes and fingers, maybe flutter our eyelids, and know that we have just done something important for ourselves. We've appreciated what we've done this past week. We've appreciated ourselves for doing it, and we rested in that, along with the energy of the universe, the spirit. This is a great spiritual practice that we've done for ourselves just now. And I am so grateful to this center for bringing all of you together with me to rest with spirit this morning. And together we say, and so it is.
I know. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh. That's you got to get out of my way. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Ken, and you're most welcome to be here today. And if you're joining us online, we're glad you're tuning in. Actually, I had someone yesterday told me that they have been watching me since I was in Atlanta, Georgia. So it's nice to know. Yeah. They told me they've been watching me since I used to be thinner. So thank you so much. Always nice to hear that. So I'm Reverend Ken. You're very welcome to be here this morning. You know, all life asks and all it requires of us is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I. It's the purpose of this wonderful teaching of ours to keep us reminded of this essential truth in our lives and for us to help this truth show up in a more powerful and dynamic and loving way. I always ask you to do one simple thing each Sunday morning, and that is to leave all your troubles, your fears, your would-haves, your could-haves, your should-haves, to leave all that stuff outside. And the next 45 minutes or so to open up an avenue of spirit possibilities in your life. And what are spirit possibilities? Well, they're for more love, more joy, more happiness, more friendship, more great music, all those things in life that make us feel alive, because that's what Spirit is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, we've got a lot of announcements this morning, so please be patient with me. We have our newcomers class after service today. So if you would like to know more about our center, if you'd like to become a member of our center, stick around for that, and it'll be our class, and we'll give you the opportunity to ask questions, to learn more about our teaching, and if you'd like to become a member of our organization. Next week, we're going to have a picnic after service. We're doing it at the shores. It's no cost, but we ask you to let Pat Conover know, there, lovely Pat, know about it if you're wanting to come, and you can bring a dish, a picnic dish, and we're providing the fried chicken. Now, if anybody has a truck, we need a truck because we need to move tables from here down to the picnic pavilion. And so if you have a truck and you're willing to do that for us, let Pat know, and that will be a wonderful thing. Today we got some really beautiful music. It's Jewel. Jewel, stand up. Where's Jewel, the beautiful Jewel? And her band, I Am. Now, on June 17th at 3:30, they're doing a special healing and meditation. There's flyers outside, so if you'd like to sign up for that or to come to that or ask them questions about more, you can do that. And I think after you hear their music, you're really going to want to do that. Hospitality, we've got a whole table full of food outside today, but they need people to help with that. So if you'd like to sign up for hospitality, sign up for a Sunday. There's a form outside, or you can see Linda Simpson. I don't know if Linda's still doing it. Just raise her hand. You can see her today. All right, so now we get to the fun part of our announcements. And to start that off, I want to share with you a short little video about the young man who's winning our Venus Manley Scholarship Program. So, Dave, if you can cue that up.
Okay, go. My name is Garrett Campbell, and I'm 5 years old. I go to Clark School. When I grow up, I want to be a zookeeper.
You're a good reader.
Help other deaf kids reach their dreams. Please support this book. Can I see it?
Awesome.
Can I see it?
Wait.
So I'm going to bring Garrett up in a moment along with Dr. Manley, but what Garrett is doing there is Garrett was born with a hearing problem, and since Garrett has been a little guy, he's been trying to get our government bless his heart, to make changes in the healthcare industry. Because healthcare does not pay for hearing aids. And if you're a kid, you need several hearing aids as you get older. You outgrow them. And traditionally, hearing aids have been very expensive, as much as $5,000 a set. So parents were having to shell out lots of money so their kids could hear. And Garrett has been lobbying the political community to make that change, and he's wanting to go to school, and that's what he's wanting to get into. He's wanting to make a difference, to make the world a better place through politics. And God bless him, we need all the help in that area we can get. So Garrett, if you want to come up, and Dr. Manley and Ted, if y'all want to come up.
Dr. Manley. Once again, everyone, this is always a wonderful time of the year for us because we get a chance to honor our winners in the Venus Manley Scholarship, of which this is the 6th year in a row that we're having this. Thank you. Garrett and his supportive family are here, and let's make sure we always want to recognize the family because without them, we wouldn't have such wonderful people like Garrett coming up. So as Reverend Ken said, he's spent a lot of time in the legislature already in his young age. So naturally, he's going to matriculate to UNF this fall. He's a graduate of Bartram Trail High School, recent graduate of Bartram Trail High School. So he's just kind of chilling for the summer right now, ready to make that transition. So we're very, very happy. We're very pleased. And congratulations for you, Garrett. We know you're in for great things in your life. And we have a token of our appreciation for you not only putting yourself through the rigors of writing a 250, 300-word essay, as well as getting in front of a panel of 6 or 7 adults who are grilling you as to why you want to do what you do and why you're here. Well, he passed all of those, obviously, with flying colors. So again, Garrett, congratulations, and Dr. Manley.
Say, Garrett, thank you so much for being a wonderful student and a wonderful young man. We are looking forward to what you do in this world. So you are one of our Venus Manley Scholarship recipients, and I hope that you are going to be able to take this money and make it work wonders for you. Thank you so much. And we've got some nice little goodies in here for you as well. Thank you.
Garrett, would you like to say something?
I don't know what to say. I just want to thank these people for just being so supportive and everybody on the panel for being so kind and welcoming and making this whole process a little less scarier. So they've just been very supportive and yeah, thank you.
Now, Garrett, I always share with the congregation when we have students who win the scholarship come here, I always remind them, I used to have an aunt long time ago, Aunt Lucille. She was my favorite aunt, and when we'd have family gatherings, she would like to come up to me and she would like to slip a little 5 or 10 to me. Now, that was a long time ago when inflation has had an effect. So if you want to introduce yourself to Garrett, and if you want to slip a little money to him, now I always remind you I'm going to be like Dr. Ike. You remember Dr. Ike? Dr. Ike, when he used to pass the plate around, he used to tell them, now, we're not getting close to Christmas time, so I don't want to hear any jingling, jangling in that plate. So that's how we want to be with Garrett. He's going to UNF, and we got to send him up there looking good and feeling good. So slip him a little extra love, and he'll be grateful for it. He's going to do wonderful things, and we've played a part in helping making that possible. Now, also, it's really one of my great honors today. Tanja, get on back up here. Dr. Manley and I, we both went to the Atlanta Center for Spiritual Living with Dr. Kennedy Schultz. And boy, that was a place to go. And there was a tradition up there that people who really, that they wanted to acknowledge, that they would give them a gift. And the gift was, if I can open it up, a leather-bound edition of our textbooks, the Science of Mind textbook. And it really, for them, it really showed how much they appreciated and honored them. Now, this particular leather-bound textbook was one gifted to me by my center when I came here to this center here in St. Augustine, and it's my great honor. I want to re-gift it to Dr. Manley. Thank you so much. You want to say something? Oh. Hang on.
Thank you. So as you know, our youth program has been closed as of last Sunday because we are now transitioning all of our youth into the center as adults. Miles was our last youth, and he is now graduated. So we are going to just let the youth program be for just the young children. It's been a wonderful pleasure working with our youth. It's been wonderful to see them just grow and expand, and they've got this teaching from young ages. So just imagine what they can do with that. So I want to just thank you for the time you've given me to be a part of the center and the part of the youth program. And I just look forward to being a part of the big people's church now. So thank you again.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Manley. All right, so I guess, Jewel, why don't you come up and get us in the right mode for the further service. Jewel and I am, everyone.
Express our gratitude for your limitless love and generosity. You hold us in your loving hands, and together we shine because we are Mother Earth. жар огня, реки рек, я прорастаю в косы трав, в корни исток, птицей вен я исчезаю своей любви, твоей любви. Ты это я. Your boldness in your loving hands, and together we shine because we are.
Thank you, Jewel and I am. That was beautiful. All right, to get our service, let's get Brenda to come up and do a reading and treatment for us. Come on up, Brenda.
Wow. How do you follow that? Jeez. I was so deeply touched by that with the emotion. It was just beautiful to me. Okay. Whew. All right. This morning, my opening prayer is about letting go and letting God. And how this came up to me this week is I'm working on a project with a friend, and it just seems so overwhelming. And it's like, I don't know what to do next. Do you know? I don't know. I don't know. You know, and that happens to me often in life. You know, I don't know what's my next step. And then we talked about it some more and said, you know what? This is our first step. This is our first step. It's enough. Let it go. Let the universe, the energy of the universe, take over. And let it ripple through, let this step ripple through and see what comes next. And it will be revealed to us what should come next. And that really made an impact on me. I mean, I've heard this many, many times, but for some reason this week it just like hit me in the head. And so now I think I get it a little better. So the reading is letting go and letting God gives me peace. And it comes from the daily word that I get. Trying to do everything myself can be exhausting. But relying solely on God can feel as though I'm not doing enough to help myself. I find the perfect balance of activity and surrender when I let go and let God. In this place of cooperation, my human and divine natures are in harmony. I take constructive action and do what is mine to do in the world, and when I feel complete with my worldly efforts, I let go. I cease activity and also release my thoughts and concerns about whether my efforts were enough. The divine in me is my strength and support. I trust my guidance to deliver me on the right path and direct my right steps. I let go, trusting that the best outcome is on its way. And so that's where I get a little stuck. Did I do enough? Is it really going to be okay? And then I know that if I let go, or when I let go and let God, everything will happen in the divine right order, in the divine right time. So let's take a deep breath. And know with me, there's really one thing in the universe. It's the universal divine intelligence. It is everything. It is everywhere. It's in me. It's through me. It guides me. We know it by many names. Some people call it God. Some people call it spirit. Whatever you name it, it's here with us, always guiding us. And I know now, especially after this week, that enlightenment that I got, that bit of enlightenment, to further my understanding of letting go and letting God, that I can trust that whatever step I just took was the right step, and I can rest for a while and let the universe take over, do its thing, what is intended to be done. It will come back to me multiplied. I'm so grateful for this knowledge. I'm grateful for the musicians that we had this morning, that wonderful message about being one with Mother Earth. The wonderful thing that Garrett has done. Love that video, Garrett. Thank you. And is destined to do. There's so much potential, so much gift that you have been given, having come in this world with your supportive family. I'm grateful to this center for all that it does for each of us, for me especially. I'm grateful to every one of you, and I'm grateful to our Reverend Ken Wilcox, our dear Reverend Ken, who gives us an uplifting message every week. Every week I walk out of here feeling great, and I am so grateful to Spirit for all of this. And I release it knowing that all of my thoughts, actions, words go into the creative substance of the universe, that which creates. It knows my intention, it knows what I want, and it comes back to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Brenda. So my talk title today is This Day, This Day. You know, our teaching is really, it's very simple. It's that we're here to express the best of ourselves, the most loving and the most compassionate part of ourselves, and that there is a power for good in the universe available to us to help us bring this about. In fact, it is the will of Spirit for us to know ourselves as God knows us. And God knows you to be wonderful. God knows you to be miraculous. God called you by name from stardust so you could walk the soil of this earth to do great good. And Spirit has never been disappointed in you for a moment, has never rejected you, has never been more impressed with your mistakes than it is in awe of your possibilities. So we are here to do just that, to reveal the most loving and compassionate part of ourselves, to awe ourselves with how much Spirit supports and loves us. And not at some future date, because here and now, if we don't experience it in the here and now, if we don't experience the glory of God in this moment, then how will we be able to recognize it when we go in spirit? Now is the moment. Now is the day. The gift has been given, but we have to do the accepting. And no one can do it for us. We have to do it for ourselves. Now, the founder of our teaching, Dr. Ernest Holmes, he said the will of God is for us to know a boundless life is flowing through us. It is the will of joy, of success, of happiness, of peace and abundance. It is the will of the kingdom of heaven, not in some distant place, but here on earth. He said it shouts at us from every angle, but it can only become power to us when we recognize it as power. And our challenge is to open up our eyes and to accept it. This week I saw a really fascinating program on PBS. It was about how our brains perceive the world. We think we see the world as it is. But scientists say that we make up the majority of what we're seeing. It's not reality what we're seeing, it's our brains making it up for us. And the scientists really don't understand how we do it in the first place. They don't understand how we take the energy of light that's reflected on our retina and is interpreted by the millions and millions of neurons in our brains to create a visual image of what we perceive reality to be. And they also tell us that we're really, at one time, we're only seeing about a thumbnail of information. That the rest, what happens is our pupil scans all around our sight and is bringing in a thumbnail of perception at a time. If we were to get all of the stimulus coming into us at one time, our brains couldn't handle it. So we're only getting just a little bit at one time, and then our mind makes up the rest of it. The older we get, and this is no surprise for most of us, the older we get, the harder it becomes to bring in, to recognize new experiences. Because as we go through life, what we do, our brain does, it narrows down reality to previously conceived conclusions. So our past is being used to interpret what we're seeing. And the longer we go in life, the more narrow and narrow we get at getting new information in. We simply don't see them. We just can't recognize them. You know, I love history. And there is a story that I've heard a long time, and I didn't think it was true. But actually, this evidence from science is saying, well, yes, it could have been a possibility. And the story is that when the Mayans first saw the Spanish coming in with their galleys, they couldn't see the galleys. They couldn't see the ships. They were invisible to them, because they had nothing in their experience that would identify the ships. So the ships were invisible. The science is saying this actually may have been the case. They had a blind spot to reality, a blind spot. Now, another interesting thing from the program, they take patients in who've had a particular kind of stroke. And this stroke will leave a blind spot in their field of vision. And they take these patients in, and they will do a test for them. They will say, focus on this dot on a screen. And then they will locate the blind spot. And they will move a separate screen to that blind spot. And they'll ask the patient, can you see this second screen? No, I can't see it all. It's in a blind spot. On that screen, they will flash a letter. They'll say A. They'll ask the patient, and they say, can you see? You're seeing anything? No, I'm not seeing anything at all. After the test, they'll give them the alphabet, and they'll say, look over the alphabet, which one of these letters do you think was on that screen? 95% of the time, they get the right letter. They didn't see it, but they got it. So what that is saying to us, we may be getting information in that's registering at a subconscious level, but we're not getting it at a conscious level. But it still may be available to us. There's more going on than we think we are, than we think there is. Life becomes to us what we largely conclude that it is. What the decisions we make about how life unfolds, that's what it becomes to us. Life proves to us our conclusions we've made about it. If we say we're unlucky, we're going to be unlucky. If we say we're healthy, we're going to be healthy. If we say we're unfortunate, we can get tragedies. I have known people who were miracle workers at producing tragedy. Over and over, they were miracle workers. If they had just done it in the positive, you would say, oh my goodness. But they do it in the negative. We get the life we look for by reaching a decision that this is the life we deserve. And the older we get, the harder it becomes to accept new realities for ourselves. There's an old story they say Abraham Lincoln used to tell. And it was about a farmer, he's in his fields. A wagon comes by of new settlers. They call out to him, they say, we're thinking of moving here. What kind of people live here? And the farmer would say to them, well, what were the people like that you came from? And they'd say, oh, they were horrible. They were backbiting, backstabbing. They're always trying to cheat you. They're always trying to beat you out of something. The farmer would say, well, that's what you're going to find here. Go look somewhere else. Another wagon comes along. We're thinking of settling here. What kind of people live around here? Well, what were the people like where you came from? They were wonderful. They were generous. They were kind. They were great neighbors. That's what you're going to find here. Welcome to your new home. We get what we're looking for. We get life proves to us that about our decisions we've made. So we want to have a different conclusion, a different approach, a different perspective. What do they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. A couple of years ago, I saw a fascinating documentary, and it was about 6 British people. And these 6 British people were all desperate for love. They didn't have love in their life. They wanted romantic love. 4 of them were women, and they were hooked on romantic novels. They would read 3 and 4 romantic novels a week. One of them, the 5th subject, he was a writer of romantic novels. Yeah. He was grinding out a novel every 6 weeks. Now, he lived in a trailer. I did not even know they had trailers in England. Did Queen Elizabeth know about that? I didn't know that. I thought that was just an American thing. So he was living in a trailer, and he was just constantly producing these novels. Every 6 weeks, he had to produce another novel. The 6th one, can you imagine who this was? He was the male model on the cover of all these magazines. Yeah. You know, one time he would be a captain of the British fleet. Another time he would be a Wall Street business person. And then a kindly brain surgeon in Africa doing surgery on poor little babies, always without his shirt on. You know, whatever he was doing. You know, the guy owned the world, but he didn't own a shirt. Now, they gave these people a year of counseling. A year of counseling. They said, we're going to counsel you, we're going to coach you so that you can find the romance you're seeking. For the women, they told them the first thing, stop reading these dumb books. Stop reading these things. Get out in the world and go look for relationships. It doesn't have to be romantic. Go look for friendships. Get into some activities. Go play pickleball. Get into a gardening group. Join a community theater. Just get out there in the life. For the writer, they told him, they said, you got to stop writing all the time. You can't just stay in your trailer writing a novel every 6 weeks. You gotta get out in the world. And of course, for the model, the thing they told him is stop spending 8 hours a day in the gym. Because that's what he was doing. He was spending 8 hours a day in the gym. They also told them to stop looking for the perfect person. Stop looking for the perfect person. Look for someone you enjoy being around. Look for someone you like spending time with. Look for someone that makes you laugh. Don't look for the perfect person. Now, by the end of the year, one of the ladies of the 4 group, she never got going with it. She just dropped out altogether. It was too much work. She didn't want to create a new life. She was hoping that Prince Charming was going to come knocking on her door one rainy night. That's what she wanted. Well, that can happen, but it doesn't happen a lot. We say in our teaching, you gotta do your affirmative prayer, you gotta do your prayer work and move your feet. You gotta get out there in life. There's a role for you to play in the creating of the life of your dreams. You're not here just to be a potted plant. There's something for you to do. And when you get out in the world, that's when you can attract what you want. One of the women, she had found a group of friends that she had started having so much fun with that the idea of a romantic relationship had been put on the back burner. She had a group of friends that were going on day trips, hiking, going to the pub, going to the theater. She was having such a good time that she was just enjoying her life as it was. 2 of the women found romantic relationships. They found people that they fell in love with. The writer, he wasn't willing to give up the writing. He was too afraid if he gave up the writing, he was going to lose income. He was in that hamster wheel of making money. There's not enough money out there. I've got to keep working as hard as I can to keep bringing money in. So he didn't give up the writing. He stayed producing a novel every 6 weeks. And so he didn't have time to find love. Now, you would think the model, he would have been the easiest case of all. After all, he was so good looking that he was on, book covers. He ended up the year still alone. Still alone. He couldn't give up spending 8 hours a day at the gym. He was living in fear. He was living that if he gave up keeping himself buffed, that another model was going to come along and take the job. The writer and the model both were living in fear and lack, and that's all they were going to attract. If they kept on the same hamster wheel, they were just going to get more fear and lack. Even though one of them was so good looking that most of the world would envy, his prospects. He was still alone at the gym lifting weight. They couldn't perceive there was a greater good out there. They weren't willing to let go of the life they had for a greater life of love and prosperity. And not even God itself will force your blessings upon you. You cannot receive a blessing from Spirit if you have clenched fist holding on to the misery of your life. Not even God can get you a blessing. So we have to open our eyes to the good we see around us, even when things may not be that good, even when we're going through challenges. Now, I wish I could tell you that our teaching will give you a life where there's no pain and no suffering, but that's not life. That's not the way it works. Our teaching will help you get through the challenges and the sufferings. It will keep you believing in a better day, that a better good is coming to you. And it will help you deal with the challenges you face. Too many of us think that we're going to be loving and compassionate when we get the right job, when we find the right partner, when our bank account is full. When we have all of that, oh gosh, we're going to be Mother Teresa. You just wait till I get the right job. I'm going to show you how loving I can be. It doesn't work that way. You have to really prime the pump. What happened in Scripture when they got to Jericho? What does Spirit tell them? You send the musicians out to walk around the walls of Jericho. You celebrate. You come from a place of love and joy. You come from a place of fullness. This is how you can have the walls of any of your barriers come tumbling down. This is how we proceed with the goodness of life. This is how God's blessings can rain down upon you. This week, they're starting the trial of the shooter of the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. This happened. 11 people were murdered at the temple at the Tree of Life. And the very neighborhood where this massacre took place, the very next week of this event, a young man from Israel came to the hospital there. He was a young man from Israel. He had a particular kind of cancer that's very rarely seen, very deadly. He was not Jewish, he wasn't Christian, he wasn't Muslim. He came from a very small religious sect. And the doctors in Israel told him, there's nothing we can do for you. His sister got online, and she found there was a doctor in Pittsburgh that was studying this condition, and so they decided they'd get him to Pittsburgh. He came to Pittsburgh, and of course, America being a world away, his whole family came with him to support him. So it was his mom and dad and 3 sisters and 1 brother all came to support him while he was in this strange place. The social worker at this hospital, she wasn't really expecting to find room for a whole family. So she reached out to the community. And there was a family that had a very large house. They were very wealthy. And they said, we have an apartment above our garage. We've been working on it. It's not quite ready to, it's not totally finished, but it's enough that they could come and they can live there. When this family showed up, they were so loving and they were so kind and they were so grateful. The host family said, you're not living above our garage. You're coming in our house. You're going to live in our house. They began to introduce them to their friends and the community. And soon the community pulled together. They were organizing to give the parents drives back and forth to the hospital. They got the kids part-time jobs so that they could earn some money while they were here. They went out and they did find the right spices for the mom so the mom could cook her son his favorite dishes there in the hospital. This community adopted this family. Now, the whole time that this family was there, they noticed that throughout the community, people were wearing little ribbons. And they asked them, what are these little ribbons about? And they told them, they said, well, a week before you got here, we lost 11 people in this tragic shooting. And that's the reason everyone is wearing ribbons. Now, the treatment for this young man, it didn't work. He died. He died. And the community came together and they said, we've fallen in love with him. We don't want you to leave here without us having a celebration of his life, of his courage, of his strength. So we want to have a service in our temple for him. And when the body came in, the family came in behind the body, and they were all wearing ribbons in remembrance for the massacre that had taken place. And the rabbi said, the whole congregation broke out in tears. Now you see, this family, they could have easily stayed in the heartbreak of losing their son and their brother. No one would have faulted them for that at all. They could have easily stayed in their own heartbreak. But instead, they chosen to open up their hearts to acknowledge the suffering they saw around them. Sometimes just a bit of compassion is all it takes to make a huge difference. I told this story years ago when it happened, and when I told it, we've made a decision, the board did, that we were going to send an offering, a gift to the synagogue so that they could use a little bit of our money to keep on with their teaching for youth. One of the things they do is they bring young people together of different faiths and get them to want to know each other. Many of us, we want life to be perfect before we're loving and compassionate, but it is in our troubles, it's in our sorrows, it's in the broken places of our heart that the love of God can shine forth. This is where the miracle can happen. Not when life is perfect, but in our woundedness. That's what Edgar Casey said about Christ. Edgar Casey said that as Jesus was carrying his cross to Calvary, carrying his cross to Calvary, he was singing out in joy. It's told in Scripture when they nailed him to that cross, the thief next to him cried out for compassion. And Jesus said, this day you will join me in paradise. The world thought they were done with Jesus. They beat him. They split open his sides. They crowned him with thorns. They thought they were done with him. But he knew the love of God would transcend all the hate and vengeance the world had heaped upon him. This day, we'll join each other in paradise. This day, when we rise above our suffering, when we let go of the wounds, the thorns and thistles of this world, when we lift our eyes to a greater good of God's love, God's compassion, this day we can join the Christ consciousness when we allow the love and compassion of God to shine forth through our wounded places, when we choose to see ourselves as God sees us, not as weak, not as wounded, not as victims, but children of the Most High, here to do great good, here to proclaim a new heaven, a new earth, a new Jerusalem, through our love, our joy, our compassion. It's within every one of us, and God is counting on you. This is the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, thank you. Joel. So now we come to the time we support ourselves and we support this center because this is a place of great compassion and love. This is a beacon of love and hope and light. And your support is allowing us to spread this even greater and even further. And you can support us in several ways. One way you can support us is through donations, naturally, but you can also support us in consciousness. You can do prayer work, seeing this center growing and thriving and back in its fullness as we were before COVID. You can do volunteer work. We always have things we need some volunteer work. However you choose to support us, whatever your intention is, if you'll place your hand over your heart and read with us this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance as I freely and joyfully give. I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. Well, thank you in advance for your generous contributions. The ushers have stepped down. Julie, you want to play another song for us? Yes. Thank you, Jewel. Thank you, Betsy. And thank you for support. Your support is allowing our center to grow and thrive, to be that wonderful beacon of love and hope and inspiration to a healing world. So we thank you, we bless it, we release it, knowing it does its good and powerful work, returning to us multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you, Betsy. All right, so let's conclude our service in an affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, well, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There's but one God and one mind and one power. That power is perfect love, it's divine intelligence. That power created me from itself plus nothing else. And I am here to walk the soil of St. Augustine, to know myself as God knows me. Not as weak and wounded, but victorious. I am here to resurrect the soul of love, the soul of joy, the soul of being. I am here to be awed with how much God loves and supports me. So here today I lift my eyes to a greater knowing. And as I look out on the world, I do not see the thorns and thistles, the hate and the vengeance of the world. I see through all of that and know the truth. The truth is, I am here to experience God's love. I'm here to experience God's compassion. I am here to be a channel of the wonder and joy and the miracles of life. So this morning, I am not going to lie to myself anymore. I'm going to tell myself I'm wounded. There's lack and limitation in my life. This morning, I am going to whisper the truth of my soul to my heart, that I am here to be awed with the love of God, awed with the blessings and miracle of heaven raining down upon me. This morning, I will lift my eyes up to the truth of my soul, that I am here to bring the blessings of God to earth here and now. And I am not turning back. I am not turning around. The path has been cleared before me, and I am moving out. And if there are walls of Jericho holding me back, they are come tumbling down. This is my truth. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing. And I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last thought, and that is your life. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, this is Reverend Ken wishing you many blessings. A lady came here and knows them. She